There are stories that make you smile, stories that make you cry. And then there are stories that awaken something deep inside your soul. A reminder that even in the darkest storms, a tiny spark of hope can light your way. This is the most powerful never give up story you'll ever hear. Ethan grew up in a small town surrounded by mountains and silence. His family was poor, but his heart was rich with dreams. Ever since he was a child, Ethan wanted to become a pilot. He used to lie on the grass for hours, watching planes cross the sky, whispering, "One day, I'll be up there." His father worked as a mechanic, hands always covered in oil. Every time Ethan talked about flying, his father would smile and say, "Dream big, son. The sky belongs to those who dare." Ethan studied hard, saved every coin, and finally got accepted into a flight academy. But life had other plans. Just 2 months before graduation, Ethan's father had an accident at the workshop. In one night, everything changed. Ethan had to quit school and return home to take care of his family. Bills piled up. Debt grew, and his dreams slipped further away. He started working double shifts at a factory, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. His hands covered in grease, his heart heavy with silence. Every night, he would stand outside, look at the stars, and whisper the same words he once believed in. "One day, I'll be up there." But the sky felt so far away. One evening, after another exhausting day, Ethan came home to find a letter from the bank. Their house was being taken away. He sat on the cold floor, holding the letter, tears silently falling. He thought, maybe this is it. Maybe dreams are only meant for people who already have everything. That night, he went for a walk in the rain. The world around him blurred, lights, noise, the weight of hopelessness. And then, through the storm, he saw an old man sitting under a bridge, playing a violin. The man's hands were shaking, his clothes soaked, but the melody he played was full of warmth, full of life. Ethan stopped. "Why are you playing out here, sir? It's freezing." The man smiled softly. "Because music keeps me alive. If I stop playing, I stop being me." Those words echoed in Ethan's soul. He realized that his dream wasn't gone. He had just stopped playing his own song. The next morning, Ethan decided to change his life. He couldn't go back to school, but he could start again, one small step at a time. He began studying aviation theory online at night, using old textbooks and free lessons. He joined forums, met mentors, and practiced flight simulations whenever he could. People laughed at him. "You, a pilot? You couldn't even finish school." But Ethan didn't argue. He just smiled and said, "I'm still flying, just not in the sky yet." Years passed. Ethan worked, studied, and failed many times. But he never stopped. At age 32, he finally earned enough to apply for a private pilot training program. It was the hardest test of his life. Long hours, physical exhaustion, endless doubt. One instructor told him, "You're too old, Ethan. Most people start this at 20, not 30. He just replied, "Dreams don't come with an expiry date." Through every setback, every tear, he remembered the words of the violinist. "If I stop playing, I stop being me." The day finally came. Ethan climbed into the cockpit for his first solo flight. His hands trembled as he touched the controls. The sun was rising over the mountains, the same mountains he used to stare at as a child. The radio crackled. "You're clear for takeoff." The engines roared. The plane began to move. And as the wheels lifted off the ground, Ethan's eyes filled with tears. He wasn't just flying. He was becoming everything he had ever dreamed to be. Up in the sky, he whispered to himself, "Dad, I made it. I'm finally home." Years later, Ethan became a flight instructor, helping young students chase their dreams. He often told them, "You don't need to have wings to fly. You just need the courage to never give up." One day after class, he passed by a street corner and heard a familiar sound. a violin. He stopped, turned, and saw another young man listening in awe. Ethan smiled, walked up to the old violinist, and placed a folded note in his box. It read, "Thank you for reminding me to keep playing." The old man looked up, eyes filled with recognition, and whispered, "I knew you'd find your song again. Life will break you. It will test your limits. But as long as your heart keeps playing its song, you're still alive, and you're still moving forward." Ethan's story reminds us that no dream is too late, and no failure is final. Because those who refuse to give up eventually rise higher than they ever imagined. So when you feel like you've reached the end, remember this: the sky still belongs to you. Keep flying, keep believing, and never, ever give up.